Hello everybody and welcome back for another round of World Talks here on TVP World. My name's Don Arleth. Today, Ursula von der Leyen survived a vote of no confidence put forward in the European Parliament by the hard right. Had she lost it, the European Commission would have had to stand down and the European Union would have been thrusted into chaos at a critical time of challenges for the bloc. After the vote, a big question that remains is what impact is this pressure having on the Commission and the policies of its president. Joining me now to discuss is Karolina Borońska-Hryniewiecka, a political science professor at the University of Wrocław, Sorbonne, and Team Europe Direct. Hello, and thank you very much, Karolina, for joining us.
Good evening. Pleasure as always.
Now, let's start with the results. The motion failed with 360 votes against, 175 in favor, and 18 abstentions. It would have needed 360 votes to pass, but 167 MEPs didn't show up for the vote. So is Ursula von der Leyen's commission safe now, and how will this affect her policies and initiatives?
Yeah, this is a great question, which basically presents very complex analysis ahead of us. Well, first of all, let's just remind our audience that this vote for a motion of censure is constitutional prerogative of the European Parliament, because the European Parliament performs the role of holding the Commission accountable, of controlling the Commission, understood as European executive. So it was not the first time that such a motion of censure has been put. Since 1972, no motion of censure against the whole Commission was successful, and this is the same case. However, as you have just mentioned, von der Leyen and her college, they should not rest on the laurels, because first of all, this process and also the discussion preceding this vote of today has revealed important problems ahead of the Commission, and this is only the beginning of the institutional cycle. Let's remember, not even the first full year. Well, first of all, we see a lot of frustration among EPP's coalition partners. So Ursula von der Leyen's grouping partners, especially on the left, center-left and left side of the political spectrum, because we have been observing over the last months some sort of a shift to the right of the Commission President and also of the EPP. We also have to admit now that the EPP itself, as the largest group in the European Parliament, is increasingly divided between those more progressive MEPs and those leaning to the right, more conservative. And we have seen that in the previous voting on important policy dossiers, like Migration Pact and like climate policy. So basically, von der Leyen will have to now be very careful in the way she's maneuvering when she's looking for stable majorities necessary to pass important policy projects in the future. Well, this is obviously normal in the democracy, parliamentary democracy, that the government, in this case the Commission, has to look for stable majorities to pass law. But now the question ahead of von der Leyen is, will she look to the right? Will she look to the left? Or will she be very volatile and basically go ahead with pragmatic approach? What suits Commission to the right, she will look for the right-wing majorities. And then what suits Commission to the left, she will look for the left-wing majorities. This might infuriate her current coalition partners. And just to wrap up this part of our conversation, the leaders of Socialists and Democrats, so the second biggest grouping, have warned that this is the very, very absolutely last chance for von der Leyen to basically step in the right direction and pursue the policies that are liberal and not flirting with the far rights.
Right, and this all beckons back to the European elections last year, where we saw the right side of the aisle gain a lot of momentum in those elections. Now, is this pragmatic from Ursula von der Leyen's perspective, that she, has to make some kind of adjustments in order to receive and maintain popular political support? At what point does she cross the line and alienate her allies?
Well, first of all, we have to understand what important challenges are ahead of this Commission and also of the European Union. So basically, we're just entering this political cycle, 2024-29, and we have to prepare for important policy discussions in terms of migration. And when we are talking about migration, there is an important dossier, legislative package on the table related to a return policy. So basically returning migrants to the places of origin. And there is a strong opposition on the more progressive left side of the political spectrum, among the left, among the Greens, among also Social Democrats, to push through that policy dossier. We also know that at the same time there is a big pressure from the far, not only far right, but the right, center right, those who are very much concerned with security of our borders, security of Europe. And so the concerns of the left focus on human rights, and the concerns on the right focus on security. Von der Leyen will have to look for a compromise. And she said that during her speech on Monday, that she cannot promise that she will agree on everything with the main partners, but she will be there in the House again and again to look for compromises. The second very important dossier is climate policy. And we know already that the Green Deal, which is the baby of von der Leyen, has been demonized very much by the right wing. And there are many demands from the corporate lobbyists, from the right, certain political groups to wash down certain regulations, which are only in preparation. And there is a very important twist happening this week, is that the Patriots for Europe, so the right-wing grouping led by Viktor Orban, they have won the position of a rapporteur of very important climate dossier, which is about it's a climate target 2040 aiming at reducing emissions. They have won the position of rapporteur, which means they will lead the portfolio. They will be the ones who will be deciding about the timeline. So they might well sabotage this legislative dossier. And obviously, mainstream parties, left-wing parties are very frustrated over that, but this is how institutional politics works. So they have the right to be this rapporteur. So this is a big challenge for von der Leyen, how she will also steer this discussion. And then finally, long-term budget, right? A long-term budget, and the negotiations will start very soon. And we can already see that von der Leyen has made some concessions on this dossier. Just yesterday, she promised to the left-wingers, to the socialists, that she will secure European Social Fund within the long-term budget, which was not so certain before. And she did that to ensure the support of Socialists and Democrats in today's vote of confidence. So there is a lot of bargaining, a lot of trade-offs. This is politics, and as much as it works this way in our nation states, it works in a very similar way at the European level, and we see that now.
So Ursula von der Leyen still not out of the woods. The budget, the Green Deal, and migration still very much items to look at in the coming months. Karolina Borońska-Hryniewiecka, Professor of Political Science, thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And that's all the time we have on this edition of World Talks. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for more here on TVP World.